This is somehow like this cultural thing that young men, particularly, but some young women too, really embrace.
I'm always amazed when people come up to me and say, my dad took me to see that movie when I was 8 years old and it changed my life. And I thought to myself, why would your dad take you to see that movie?
I don't know.
I think the character is a modern knight in armor.
The idea of landing a superhero within the consciousness of Western civilization.
All right, let me get something out of the way real quick. I have never reviewed a documentary before, so the way I go about this one might be a little different. But there is no way that I could pass up the opportunity to cover this one, as I've been following the progress of it for somewhere over 5 years, as it covers my favorite movie ever made. Which, of course, is no bullshit, Paul Verhoeven's immortal sci-fi satire action masterpiece, Robocop. So, my fellow executives, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the future of the documentary, Robodoc, the creation of Robocop. A massive passion project, managing to track down basically everyone for interviews, sharing many untold secrets and stories about the making of Robocop, down to the actors, the writer, producer, effects artist, all the way down to Paul Verhoeven himself. I can tell you this right off the bat, even as a massive Robocop dork, this one made me go, holy shit, way more than once. It is staggeringly in-depth. So, in short, I like it! But I ain't just gonna leave you with that. This sucker is huge, packed to the brim with so much awesome stuff, and in its 4 hours is only on the first film. So let's start with, well, the start. A strong opening is incredibly important. Gotta set the mood, right? And this is an excellent way to start your Robocop documentary. A groovy synthwave remake of Basil Polyadaris' Robocop score as we see Murphy slowly being turned into Robo via computer monitors, his humanity being stripped away, becoming more machine than man, until finally... Dude. So I really did have to think about how to cover this. I know it wouldn't be easy. I've never covered a documentary before, and in my opinion, you can't really cover a doc the same way you cover a movie. Because look, the whole point of a documentary is to be educational. It's coming at you with the confidence that you're gonna learn something new. So I can't just do some blow-by-blow of, oh, hey, that was pretty cool, or that was pretty rad. Besides, if I did that to begin with, this video would be like 2 fucking hours long. So what this really is more of a tease. Think of it as an extended trailer in a sort of way, and as a review, if that makes any sense. I've decided to not really talk any of the things regarding like the effects work and such. I really think that needs to be experienced. The stories there are insanely immersive and honestly fucking tiring in the best way possible. Phil Tippett, Rob Bottin, Stephen Dupree, and a laundry list of other talented beasts went through so much fucking on-set insanity to make everything work. But I can't just not share anything. I've got to highlight some of the stuff that both had me smiling ear to ear and biting my nails at times, like Russell Towery, Peter Weller's stuntman, and the absolute bullshit that he had to go through on set. Peter Weller's stunt double got injured often. The worst of it during the ED-209 fight. Dude got hit in the fucking armpit with a wall explosive and had to go to the hospital to be cut out of the suit. So seriously, shouts out to both Peter Weller and Russell Towery for what was truly the hardest part of the movie. enduring the pitfalls of that damn amazing, but very experimental, hard to move in, and dangerous suit that would punch you right in the fucking nose if you fell down in it. Damn, dude.
There was no pads down there. I actually went to the ground each time and probably did it, I don't know, probably 10 times. I still hurt because of that.
There is way more footage of I'll buy that for $1 guy that we'll likely never see all of. Mr. Kinney's death was a lot more than just a risk of the film being heavily censored and even potentially shut down. It was a physical risk for the actor. Kevin Page had what is believed to be more blood squibs set up on his body than any actor at the time, and maybe even since. With one squib in particular going off and hitting a very sensitive area. For those of you that know anything, if at all, about Robocop, it is quite well known for a particular scene where a guy gets shot in a very particular area. That almost actually happened. But honestly, the documentary talks about it way fucking better than I ever could, so I'm leaving it at that. And this is something that made me smile so big. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get Miguel Ferrer for an interview for this because he had passed away while the documentary was still being made. But the stories and fond memories that the cast and crew have of working with him really helped to make up for that. During late-night shoots requiring a lot of extras, like the SWAT dudes lighting up Robo's titanium laminated and Kevlar ass in the OCP parkade, a lot of the cast and crew would pull double duty and SWAT up, two of which were Ferrer and writer Ed Neumeyer, who developed a friendship because of that and started going out drinking in Dallas together. Man, that fucking rules. And let's not forget, Robo wants an Oreo? Oh, you just gotta see the fucking doc for yourself, man. This documentary just rules. It taps into everything interesting and different about the film. Even delving into those born in the 80s and 70s that saw it way too young because maybe their dad took them to go see it some Saturday afternoon. Hell, I saw it with my dad when I was like 8 because I was curious about what he was watching. And honestly, can you really blame folks like us who grew up in a time where Robocop had toys and a children's cartoon? There's also lots of fantastic animated sequences of what some of their original ideas for certain shots and scenes were, like a much more graphic Dick Jones death, that sort of stuff. It's great. And something I'd really love to see is something I don't think about very often, but it's that there were cuts of this film using alternate takes and alternate music. Since they didn't have the Polyadaris score yet, some of the original cuts of the movie, just so they could show to the actors and the crew, would use music from other films, like Aliens. Man, that would be such a treasure to own. But I'm really trying to cover this without just telling you what's in it, and treating it as more of a personal experience. Because with a documentary in general, not to make it sound nerd-ass, you are watching it to learn something new. And I can tell you that as a Robocop fan since the tiny age of 8, I learned a ton of new things about my favorite movie. I laughed many times, I even teared up a few times, just knowing what the cast and crew had to go through to get this thing done, but the dedication they had to press on. It's beautiful, man. And of course, for my own selfish, nostalgic reasons. Robodoc, the creation of Robocop, is co-directed by Chris Griffiths and Eastwood Allen and produced by Gary Smart. The trio previously collaborated on Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, The Robert Englund Story, Pennywise, The Story of It, and You're So Cool, Brewster, The Story of Fright Night, all of which are available on Screambox. The whole production is stellar, from the direction to the music to the editing to the overall aesthetic, really matching up with Robocop. These folks seriously did a wonderful job. The music by Sean Schaefer Hennessy and the title theme from New Arcade combined with the intro that made me so nostalgic about where my imagination would take me when I would just think about Robocop when I wasn't watching it, like what it would maybe look like if we saw more of his creation, made me fucking misty-eyed, man. I gotta be real. Bravo! I'm a little late on my video on this. I believe by this point the documentary is already streaming on Screambox. But rest assured, folks, there is way more coming. The original trailer, which I've been watching on repeat for years now, features interviews shot for 2, 3, and even for the 90s live action show. I am so fucking there for the Richard Eden interviews, man. He was, in my opinion, the only guy that could hold a candle to Weller's performance. Sorry, Thinner Cop. Also, what remake? Great job, guys. Thanks for the screeners, and I'm sorry I couldn't get this out sooner, but I cannot wait to see the rest, and I hope this gets at least a few extra Robo-peepers on the project. Good as money can buy. Go Robo!